Hi, so I'm Victor Figueroa, and I'm gonna be guiding you through the process of photosynthesis, light reactions, and the Calvin cycle. So this is kind of like an overall overview of the whole process. So you have 6 molecules of water, 6 molecules of carbon dioxide, and light come together to form glucose plus oxygen. 1 molecule of glucose, 6 molecules of oxygen gas. So the CO2 comes in to the leaves through tiny openings called stoma. Also, the light is absorbed by the chlorophyll, and oxygen gas is released also through those same holes called stoma. Um, the minerals and water that the plant gets for these reactions come from the roots on the inside, so you see here. So it's kind of a general overview. This again what I said. So where the main chunk of this more specialized is the chloroplast, where the chloroplast is the organelle responsible for photosynthesis. It's different from the mitochondria in the sense that chloroplast gets water and CO2, turns it into glucose plus oxygen, and mitochondria does the exact opposite, gets the glucose and oxygen and creates it into water and CO2. So this I drew here a chloroplast cell with the outer membrane, intermembrane, and the inner membrane here. Also drew the little thylakoids here, all these little circles. A group of thylakoids is called a granum or gruma for multiple, so the three, so it would be gruma. The liquid inside of the thylakoid is called the lumen, and the liquid inside of the mitochondria, not inside the thylakoid, just inside the mitochondria, is called the stoma. So in the thylakoid, there's a pigment that's responsible for absorption of light. That's called chlorophyll. The chlorophyll absorbs red and blue light and reflects green light. That's why you'll see most plants being green, and also you'll see the chloroplast being green in thylakoids as well, because the chloroplast reflects green light but absorbs red and blue light. So going more into the reactions in the chloroplast, here's you have two types of reactions. So you have the light dependent reactions and the light independent reactions. The light dependent reactions occur inside of the thylakoids within the chloroplast, so occur in these thylakoids. And they're all light dependent and light independent both occur in the chloroplast, but light dependent occurs in the thylakoids. So the basic thing is you have water and light come together to create oxygen, and then you also have NADP and NAD plus phosphorus to create ATP and NADP. Now, with these products, the chloroplast is able to do the Calvin cycle. It grows the ATP and ADP. It's powered of the ATP and ADP and CO2 to produce glucose. So going more into the light dependent reactions, here I drew the thylakoid membrane, and so this is a more in detail process of the light dependent reactions. So you have light comes and hits the photosystem 2, which absorbs light best at wavelength 680. It hits it and excites electrons from the it hits and excites it, sorts water, and then it breaks it down to O2 plus a hydrogen ion. This creates a higher concentration of gradient of hydrogen to increase inside of the thylakoid space and also decrease on the stroma on the outside of the chloroplast. Then you have these excited electrons go down to the plastoquinone, which sends its electrons to the B6F complex. These electrons turn on this enzyme and they start pumping hydrogen ions into the thylakoid space, again increasing the concentration gradient of hydrogen ions. These electrons are then flow down to the plastocyan, and the plastocyan sends it to the photosystem 1. In the photosystem 1, the electrons aren't as excited as they were in photosystem 2, so light again hits it, and the electrons are recharged and are sent to the ferredoxin, which sends it to the NADP reductase, which together with the electrons, an NADP plus molecule, and a hydrogen ion create NADP. Now, because of this whole system right here, what it ends up doing is the concentration gradient for hydrogen, it causes it to decrease on the stoma side of the thylakoid membrane and to increase on the thylakoid space. So the ATP synthase, hydrogen ions rush into the ATP synthase, and this makes it rotate and gets ATP plus a phosphate, free floating phosphate, and converts it into ATP. So this whole process basically creates an NADP molecule and an ATP molecule powered by sunlight and concentration gradient. Now, for the light dependent reactions, independent reactions, which is a Calvin cycle, we will use our carbon dioxide molecules. These carbon dioxide molecules react with 3 RUBP molecules, which are a 5 carbon with 2 phosphate groups on each side molecule, and they come together with 3 of these to create 3 carbon molecules with 1 phosphate group attached on it. So you have 3 of those. They're called 3-phosphorylate. So with this 3 carbon molecule comes here and get 6 ATPs, react with them, and then create this 6. So they create 6 3 carbon molecules with a phosphate group on each side of it. So it went from only 1 carbon it went from 3 carbons with 1 phosphate group to 3 carbons with 2 phosphate groups. Now, 6 NADP come and react with this molecule to create 3G3P molecules. This reaction is done through this enzyme. Here, the 6 molecules keep on rotating through this cycle, and one of those is expelled, and the other 5 um, are used to regenerate 3 molecules of RUBP with powered by ATP. So the net result of this Krebs cycle is 3 CO2 molecules end up creating 1 G3P. It is also 6 ATP molecules are used here, 6 NADP here, and 3 here. 3 ATP molecules. Then you're going to be left with 3 RUBP, which will react again with next 3 CO2s. So overall, in the Calvin cycle, you have 9 ATPs and 6 NADPs react with 3 CO2s to create 9 ADPs, 1 G3P, 6 NADPs, and this ADP will be used again in the light-dependent reactions here and here, and the GDP will come together with another G3P to create 1 glucose molecule. So for every three carbon dioxide molecules, you get 1 G3P, and for every 2 G3Ps, you get 2 glycose. So yeah, that would be my explanation and diagram of light reactions and the Calvin cycle. Thanks.